So, World Enough in Time, just add. Here are my thoughts. So this is the first time we've actually seen the proper Cybermen since Silver Nemesis, which is all quite exciting. And as you'll probably know, even though I am the New Who hater that I am, and I am probably the biggest New Who hater out there, or at least one of them, I was actually sort of looking forward to this a tiny bit. Did I enjoy this episode? I'll talk about that later. First, do I mind that they've sort of contradicted spare parts? Well, I don't, because I don't count New as canon, but if you do, I'm sure you can retcon it. I mean, for all you know, the woman might be Dr. Van Allen or whatever her name was, and it might just be, that from Bill's point of view. We don't know that, I guess, and they did live underground in the original spare parts, so, I mean, who knows? I think it's problematic that the Cybermen weren't created on a spaceship, though. That they were created from colonists from Mondas on a spaceship. That's problematic, because they do say in the 10th Planet that they were created on Mondas. But yeah, another problem I have with this episode is I did find it very predictable. I mean, we all knew that exactly what was going to happen. We all knew from the trailers that Bill would become a Cyberman, and that the Master would be in it, and we all knew that that guy was the Master. It took me just a moment to realize it, but I mean, after a while, I didn't know it was the Master before he actually said it himself. It was quite obvious. I realized it, quite a bit before he actually said it. It was rather predictable, I thought. And all the events were very predictable. I knew exactly what was going to happen. But that's not to say it's bad, because this episode isn't actually bad. I actually quite like this one, surprisingly enough. It's not a very good Genesis story for the Cybermen, but I mean, you can actually still sort of count spare parts as canon if you count New as canon. But I don't count New as canon, so hey, so spare parts is canon no matter what for me. Anyways, I actually quite liked the ending. I mean, again, as predictable as it was awesome to hear the voices again. Unfortunately, they had changed them a bit, but they are still quite close to the originals. I actually thought it was pretty good. I have a lot of problems, but the main thing is that the Cybermen weren't actually created on Mondas. That's an interesting interpretation on Stephen Moffat's part. But it had some nice references, like Bill's heart being removed. Because, of course, one of the first things the Cybermen say in the 10th Planet is, because Polly asked one of the Cybermen, "Have you no heart?" And it replies, "That is one of the weaknesses we have removed." So, that's a very nice sort of thing. But yeah, this was actually decent. As much as I disliked a lot of things about this one, it was decent. It was actually a decent episode. If I counted New as canon, I don't think I would have liked this one, because it disrespects cyber mythology quite a lot. But if not counting New as canon, it's actually, it's actually decent. I can see this going over a lot of people's head, but it was actually pretty good. That is coming from me. It was, yeah. Is it as good as the 10th Planet? No way. Next week's episode looks wank. All the Cybermen just looks like one big mess. I can't really see it being good at all. But it's nice to see that we have another companion that dies. Sort of. I did like the tear bit at the end, though. But, I never liked Bill. I thought Bill was really annoying throughout this whole series. So it's nice to see her get a terrible fate. I find that satisfying. I find it satisfying seeing a companion just as annoying as Adric being converted into a Cyberman. That is, I know I sound like a horrible person, but there was something satisfying about that, I must say. Yeah. John Stidham's Master was not really necessary, and I didn't really like his line of sort of, "This is a beginning, it's a Genesis of the Cybermen." But I think it's quite cool that he makes Missy evil again, I suppose. I have no idea when she became good. Probably in the 4 episodes I didn't watch this season. But yeah, no, it was a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5. 5 or 6 out of 10. Not that bad. Not good or anything, but, well, slightly good, I suppose. I think I'm more on the good side than on the bad side. It was better than a lot of new episodes, and God, it's nice to see them on That's It Cybermen again. And oh my God, they actually look really, really good. Well, they don't look as good as they did in the '60s because the thin handlebars are a bit annoying. And how the hell can they have emotional inhibitors? Because it's set in the '60s that their emotions were removed through brain surgery. They say that their brains have been like, because one of the Cybermen says in the 10th planet, our brains are like yours, except they've removed certain. Well, yeah. And the second Doctor says in the Wheelan's face as well that their emotions have been removed through surgery. So through brain surgery. So I don't know. I guess it's just Stephen Moffat making a little mistake there. But no, I actually, on a whole, it was pretty good. And God, it's so good to see Bill Potts being converted into a Cyberman. And God, those half-converted Cybermen looked fucking awesome. Let me just say that. They looked fucking awesome. No, I'm actually, on a whole, I was pleasantly surprised because I was expecting this one to be a sort of cool story with the Cybermen, but overall not the best. I mean, I was slightly excited for it, I must say. So no, I actually sort of enjoyed this one. 6 out of 10. I'll see you next week for my reaction for The Doctor Falls. Poor Doctor. Anyways, yeah. So I guess we'll find out next week who the new Doctor is, because they haven't actually announced it. I'm betting on Chris Marshall, or Tom Marshall, or whatever he's called. I'm betting on that guy. I mean, he looks terrible for the part, but I'm definitely betting on that guy. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye, everyone.